Hi guys, Pierre here again. Welcome again to another edition of Fluent Friends. Dun, 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 dun. All right, welcome guys to another edition of Fluent Friends. Today we're going to be learning Hmong. Hmong 101 greetings. Hmong 101 greetings. Now, before you learn, here's a quick snippet. Here's a few things that you need to know before you learn. Who are the Hmong people? The Hmong people are people who are descended from the Chinese people. At some point, they were exiled from China. Some went to Laos, some to Thailand. They have different areas that they were scattered to. Some went to the mountains. And because of that, we have two main Hmong groups. You have the Hmong Da, which is the white, and you have the Hmong Chua, which is the green. So you have the white Hmong, and then you have the green Hmong. Their language is very similar, but they pretty much have some slight differences. Most people where I live, Minnesota, they tend to speak white Hmong. And I find a lot of green Hmong would speak white Hmong, but a lot of white Hmong cannot speak green Hmong. And white Hmong is more prevalent. So a few things to keep in mind before you learn this language is, or some things that you're gonna find out is, you'll find some words in Hmong that are actually similar to some words in Chinese, which is really great. So if you're gonna learn two languages at a time, Chinese and Hmong are a good pair. Chinese is probably the parent language, Hmong will be the descendant language. So from there, you can choose something nice. Now, we're gonna be learning Hmong today. Where I live, we have several Hmong people. I love Hmong people. It's a great culture. They have great food. They have a great culture about them. Very serious, very family orientated people. I mean, they're just really amazing. They do look Asian, or they look, well, not Asian. They have Oriental looks, but they tend to be a little bit more rounder. The face is a little bit more rounder, a little bit more chubby, a little more chubbier. That's how I tend to distinguish. I love to be able to distinguish between the different, and someone's from Thailand, or someone is from Japan, or from China, or from Laos. I like to be able to tell the difference. So today we're gonna be learning Hmong 101. Now we're gonna learn the first thing you wanna say is hello or hi. And the word for that will be nyojong. Nyojong. That means hello. So let's try that. Nyojong. Come on. Nyojong. Nyojong. That means hello. That's the Hmong word for hello. So it's how you start to talk to people and say hello, and usually people will respond to that. The second thing that we're going to learn today is going to be how are you? And to say how are you is ka no lik tia. Ka no lik tia. Now, you might not be able to read what you see on the screen. You might not, it's like the words do not match with what I'm saying. It's kind of in an English form, which is kind of nice, but it just seems like it doesn't quite match. But for now, what we learned the first time is just start speaking it. Just start speaking it, and as we go, you'll pick it up. You'll pick it up. It's like when you want to go into a swimming pool, when you want to swim, you don't read about how to swim and whatever. You just jump into the pool. So, hello, nyojong. How are you? Ka no lik tia. Now, one thing that I like to say when I speak to Hmong people, usually when I say nyojong or hello, for some reason, a lot of them think I'm insulting them, because everybody knows hello in like every language. And so I have to go a little bit further and say konolikya. And usually that kind of stops them a little bit. There's a little bit of, they still have that 30% hesitancy, like, what's this guy trying to do? He's trying to make fun of me or something. But once I start to say, I can speak Hmong, then all of a sudden they stop, and then I have their full attention. So they say something like this. So I say something like this. I say, nyojong, hello, konolikya. And I say, kopohai lumo. Kopohai lumo means I can speak Hmong. So when I say that, that usually stops them in their track, and then I have their full attention. Now, the response when somebody says nyojong to you, hello, you can say nyojong right back, which means hello. If they say konolikya, you say, which means is how are you? You say hey, which means I'm good. And then usually I would say I can speak Hmong, and that's part of the greetings. It's part of the way that they open up. Now, speaking the Hmong language, I'm not the best at it. That's why I also need a fluent friend. We all need fluent friends, but I am learning. So usually when you say I can speak Hmong, they will respond. And the way they will ask you, how did you learn, and so on and so forth. And what I usually say is Pengyu, which actually means my friends, which means friends. And when they hear that, it's like, oh, okay, he learned from his friends. So there's probably a more formal way to say that, and we'll cover that in Hmong 102, and then we'll go from there. But usually I say Pengyu. Now, for those who speak Chinese, Pengyu is actually friends in Chinese. So Pengyu is actually friend in Hmong. You can see the similarity between those two words. Again, the Hmong people descended from the Chinese people, from that era at least. I think they were once part of the same group of people, and then they were exiled, and they've not really had a place for a home for a long time. But now we have a lot of Hmong in Laos, and we have a lot of Hmong in the United States of America. Awesome. So now, another thing that I like to say is, what is your name? The word for name in Hmong is lumpe. So I say, ko lumpe hulitia. That means, what is your name? Now you have to notice I'm saying ka and ku a lot. Ka and ku, ka and ku. Ka is you and ku is me. So ka lumpe hulitia means, what is your name? Usually someone would say, they might just say, okay, John or Mary or Lee or Plia or whatever the case may be. This is more on the there's a more, with all languages, there's a more formal way to talk, and then there's a more kind of informal way to talk. Like for example, someone say, hey, what's your name? Oh, Eric. And some people say, what's your name? Oh, my name is Eric. How do you do? Pleased to meet you. Now that's the more formal way, but usually people just say Eric. So I said, Kalumpe Holitia, and you say, oh, Pierre, Pide, Plia, Sean, you can just say, this is what my name is. Now, in the Hmong culture, they have 18 last names. It's no more than 18. It's only 18 last names. A good assignment this week. Go and find a Hmong person, and don't be rude about this, please. But go and find a Hmong person and just ask them what their last name is. And you'll find out that they only have one of 18 last names. Or even ask them, better yet, ask them more about their culture. And hey, is it true that I heard you guys only have 18 last, is that true? And the answer to that is yes. So you'll find that they have one of 18 last names. Now, because of this, there are certain things that it kind of makes the language a little bit easier, because you would hear that when they respond to you. My name is Sophia, her, or my name is Sita Tao, or whatever the case may be, right? So another thing I like to say in the Hmong language, usually I ask them, what is your last name? Now, why is this important? This is usually important in Hmong to Hmong interactions. So for example, people that with the Hmong culture, they have 18 last names. In their culture, based on whatever it is, the story goes that one woman had 18 children. And to stop incest from happening between these children, she told them, like, if you're a Vang, you can't marry a Vang. If you're a Tao, you can't marry a Tao. If you're a Xiong, you can't marry a Xiong. So the way it is in the Hmong culture is the same last name, they don't marry each other anymore. Now we are, I don't know, hundreds of years, 50 years, 100 years, please correct me if I'm wrong, but we're a few years, lots of years have passed, and now the Hmong people have grown to thousands and maybe hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands for sure. So how this can apply now, I don't know. But back then, how it applied makes 100% sense. So basically, the way this works now is I usually ask, it's very important at some point to ask, what's your last name? Because when a Hmong person asks another person what's their last name, especially this is a possibility for a romantic interest, for example, between a boy and a girl. If your name is Thaw and her name is Thaw as well, we might say Thao, Thao, they pronounce it Thaw. If your name is Thaw and her name is Thaw as well, you might as well just end it right there. We can't go any further as far as romantic is concerned. So let me just be on my way and so on and so forth. If there was an attraction there, because in their culture, you cannot marry someone that has, it's considered a taboo to marry someone that has the same last name as you. So that's why I usually ask, what's your last name? Now, my last name is not Hmong at all, but it's just one of those things. Another thing with the Hmong culture that's considered a taboo, besides they don't usually marry outsiders. Now, when I say outsiders, that means if you're black, if you're white, if you're not Hmong, they probably won't marry you. But it's changing now. The new generation is a little bit more open to that, and that's definitely happened. You have half Hmong, half black kids, half Hmong, half white kids, half Mika, half Hmong, half Kidu, half Hmong, and so on and so forth. You have them all over the place now. But this is some of the old school, some of the older school Hmong people. They likely will not, they won't do something like that. And even if they did, even if you somehow got to marry the daughter or the son or whatever, expect some coldness for a while till they warm up to you. They usually stay in their own little group. That's kind of how they are culturally speaking. It's not saying that they're bad people. It's just saying culturally speaking, that's how it is. So as you begin to interact with the culture, as I began to interact with the culture, I began to find these things out. I began to find these things out, and that's what I'm sharing now with you. So I usually ask, what is your Hmong last name or your clan name? There's only 18 of them. So what I say is, call your Hmong, sing dachi. Call your Hmong, sing dachi. Call your Hmong, sing dachi. So repeat that. Call your Hmong, sing dachi. So that means, what is your Hmong name or your clan name or your last name? And you will hear one of 18 responses. And then after I say that, I usually say something along the lines of, nice to meet you, which is John Xiaota Ji Ko. Again, listen for that word call. Call means you. Ku means me, right? So call your Hmong saying dachi. Call your Hmong saying dachi. What is your Hmong name or your last name or your clan name? And so I say John Xiaota Ji Ko, which means nice to meet you. John Xiaota Ji Ko, right? Again, the way it's being written is not the same way we speak it. You can't just read it the way it's written. But I want you to just right now just get these basics down, go out there and practice, and then later we'll get into how the words are pronounced and so on and so forth. Then the last thing I usually say is goodbye, and or I say thank you. Nice to meet you. John Xiaota Ji Ko. Thank you is o chao, and then goodbye is shinjidua, That means goodbye. So that's it for Hmong 101. Thanks for subscribing. Hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll see you again. Bye. Dun, 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 dun. I actually forgot what I was going to do. Let's do it again. Hi guys, Pierre here. Thanks for tuning in. Hi guys, welcome. It's gotta be natural, okay? Okay, take 4. Hi guys, Pierre here. Welcome again to another edition of... You see it a little bit. Speaking of learning languages, you'll never believe these 3 easy tips to boost your language acquisition skills. Head on over to fluentfriendsonline.com, sign up, and we will send you an exclusive video. This is not on YouTube, and best of all, it's free, directly into your inbox. If you like what you're seeing so far, subscribe, hit the like button, thumbs up, thumbs down. If you want to see that exclusive video, the link is in the description below. Thanks again for watching. Spasiba, arigato, kamsameda, oshe, shia. Bye.